We've turned the corner, says the Minister, but what are we going to find there?
Today I want to tell the Irish people that even though our economy is still in a weakened condition and our self-confidence as a nation has been shaken, the government's strategy over the past 18 months is working. Ceann Comhairle, the worst is over. The international economy has exited recession. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity in this country is turning the corner, and my department expects a return to positive growth within the next 6 to 9 months.
All right, so Brian Lenihan says the economy is on the turn, but is that how people who are trying to make money in this economy feel?
Well, it hasn't turned, let's be honest about it, Pat.
It hasn't turned?
Not at all, no.
How bad are things for you?
Well, I would go as far to say that we're struggling, really, and we're trying to survive in the economy at the moment.
Derek Braun, you wrote The House Party about our property boom and bust.
Sure.
Have we turned the corner?
Well, Brazil have, India, China, Germany has. We're a couple of years behind the rest of the pack.
A couple of years behind.
At least one.
So when are you
not two.
predicting that we will turn that corner?
Well, we're not going to bottom in terms of, you take the biggest single unemployment factor at the moment is construction and jobs. We've built half as many homes this year as last year. We're still building too many. We'll build half as many again next year, back to 1970 level, with about 14 or 15,000. There's another 80 or 90,000 jobs to go there.
All right, so we're nowhere near turning the corner. Minister Conor Lennon, we haven't turned the corner. I mean, it was, according to these guys, budget day hype.
Well, I don't believe it was hype. I think the bottom line here is that we've come through an extraordinarily difficult 18 months, and the worst is over, in fact. And really, when one looks at all the evidence and the statistics that were available to government and non-government agencies, both the EU and the United States, two are major trading party blocks, if you like, they're out of recession. We hope to be out of recession, officially that is, in the second half of next.
Where is the growth going to come from? This is the key issue, Pat. Look at the numbers. The biggest thing it should come from is us spending. But taxes are going up. Unemployment has risen dramatically. Interest rates will rise at the end of this year, according to the ECB. House prices are falling. People are traumatised. We're not going to spend.
Well, I advise small businesses around the country on a regular basis every day.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing none of the upturn that's been heralded here. You know, if we look back for a year or two, they were talking about the fundamentals. And let's look at these fundamentals now. You know, we've a highly indebted nation. We've taken 4 billion out of the economy now in the short term. Most of the retail sector have been decimated and they're waiting for a strong Christmas, and it's going to save the year for them. That now is under serious jeopardy. Following on from that, there are going to be closures in the spring. You're going to find a lot of stock going back to the distributors, manufacturers, etc. So these businesses in early next year are going to be in big problems.
In Drogheda, we've got right across all sectors, not just the retail sector, but it's particularly devastated. We have businesses that are genuinely looking at Christmas, but not beyond Christmas.
70% of small businesses say trading conditions are poor or very poor, and that has disimproved since the previous quarter. So I certainly don't think the worst is over. This is going to get tough. But at the same time, I do believe that we have turned a corner with the budget. It was critical and essential.
Well, you were one of those people calling for cuts in public pay, weren't you?
Absolutely, but that's just a recognition that we have a 26 billion euro deficit. We need to have some confidence in the economy, and the only way that you're going to get small business people to invest, to actually create new jobs, which is really what we're going to depend on, is if they have certainty around the government and its ability to keep us all out of bankruptcy.
Yes, you have.
I represent clerical officers and staff officers in the civil service, and I think what some of the business people are realising is that what the budget has done is taken money out of the economy, and their businesses are going to be directly affected. And somebody said there that a 5 or a 10% reduction. Our members now are faced with, do they have enough to pay the rent? If they don't, they go on social welfare, family income supplement, or they may lose their houses, and they go back to the minister and say, can you give me some money, please? They're taking money off our members to give to the banks, and then our members will lose their houses. And who are throwing them out of houses? The banks.
The fact of the matter is that in 1997, total public expenditure was 17 billion. 10 years later, in 2007, it had risen to 51 billion and gone up further again today. So it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that the public expenditure is completely out of whack.
The figures that ULIC gives are fairly amazing figures, that we should have tripled our spending at a time when everything else did not triple.
So I think there's other figures though in the economy. Look at all the profit that's been made over the last 10 years. Where's that gone?
Two elements to the stimulus. First of all, we're spending twice as much as the rest of the EU on our National Development Plan. That's a huge amount of money, 5% of our GDP. That's going into system. The government has reorganised that, tried to front load it more, make it more labour intensive. We're also involved in fitting houses.
But wasn't a billion taken out of the capital programme?
So at the end of the day, we need to get our competitiveness right in this country, and that's the biggest stimulus we can give to this economy.
The idea that over the course of the next 12 months we will recapitalise banks willy-nilly, we will bail out every single bondholder, and in the process allow unemployment to rise or taxation to rise to bail out bondholders who took a risk like everybody else, is an anathema to anybody who believes that the system of capitalism rewards good behaviour and penalises bad behaviour.
I'm a volunteer with St Vincent de Paul, and there's people coming down on social welfare recipients as well. But I think the government didn't show enough creativity and imagination. They really need to revamp the social welfare system.
From all of us on the front line, good night. Good night.